October 1st National Day turning into a national day of mourning? On September 30th, some netizens posted an open letter calling for a nationwide gathering at Tiananmen Square in Beijing on October 1st National Day to publicly mourn Yu Menglong and demand justice for him. The letter quickly drew widespread attention. It stated that growing evidence showed was brutally tortured to death by a group of inhumane individuals. Yet, Kai Chi, a member of the CCP Politburo Standing Committee, in order to shield an illegitimate child linked to the case and the powerful backer behind it, has used state machinery, such as the Cyberspace Administration, to completely suppress all information related to Yu. All channels speaking up for Yu inside China have been shut down. Posts mentioning him are deleted or accounts locked instantly, though more and more citizens are learning the truth. The letter urged netizens to use the October 1st holiday to gather at Tiananmen Square for a public vigil, lighting candles for Yu at 8 p.m. Those unable to travel to Beijing were encouraged to hold candlelight memorials outside their local government offices. The letter also claimed that Beijing police already know the truth of Yu's wrongful death and are reluctant to cover it up for Kai Chi. This, it said, explains the delay in official announcements. One officer was even dismissed for openly opposing Kai's narrative. Under pressure, police were forced to declare 3 people had been detained for spreading rumors. Meanwhile, CCP state media has oddly been posting fish-themed videos. Yu means fish in Chinese, which many netizens interpret as a sign of internal dissent. Some even replied with "thank you" in the comments. On September 30th, Urumqi media in Xinjiang reported that Yu's ashes had been buried in his hometown, yet those responsible remain at large. Still, netizens continue to dig for the truth, refusing to give up. Photos Song Yiren and others posted on social media, netizens deduced that Song Yiren, Yuan Ziwen, Ji Guangguang, and Kai Yijia all live in the Sunshine Shangdong residential complex. Song Yiren once wrote on Weibo, "If I'm not freeloading food and drink at a neighbor's place every day, then I'm on my way there." She also posted a photo on Xiaohongshu of a chalkboard menu listing Saturday's dishes: asparagus chicken soup, braised tofu, sukiyaki hot pot, and shrimp in tomato sauce. The guest list included 4 names: Yuan Ziwen, Song Yiren, Ji Guangguang, and Cai Yijia. This collage speaks volumes, suggesting that the 4 of them all live in Sunshine Shangdong, which explains why Song Yiren could constantly freeload at her neighbors' homes. To the list and photos of 17 people circulated by netizens, Fang Li is also among them. Data from Chichacha shows that Fang Li is the legal representative of 5 companies in the film and offshore marine industries. In addition, he serves as chairman of 7 other companies spanning technology, geophysics exploration, shipping, and aviation. He is also the executive director and chairman of the board of 6 other companies in photography, cinema, and the arts. There have long been rumors that Fang Li is a cousin of Kai Chi, though no official documents have been found to verify this. Still, the fact that Fang Li is a legal representative and holds numerous high-ranking positions across various companies suggests he has very strong backing. Based on these materials, netizens have mapped out a complete criminal chain. Song Yiren, Fu Zicha, Yuan Ziwen, Yuan Zihao, Fan Shiqi, Xiao Maiqi, Gao Taiyu, and Ji Guangguang, real name Li Ming, were responsible for scouting targets, luring handsome young men with promises of fake debuts. Once contracts were signed, the boys were placed under surveillance and control by Du Cham, assistant Dabing, and Hu Haiyang. Afterward, they were brought to drug and male-centered parties hosted by Cheng Qingsong and Fang Li, where alcohol and narcotics were used to break their will before handing them over to sponsors. These sponsors included second-generation rich like Zhou Hao and Zhang Jiawei, as well as illegitimate children of high-ranking officials such as Xin Qi and Cai Yijia. If victims complied, sponsors would provide money and resources, and even offer them up to higher-level figures such as Zhao Leiji, Wang Gongquan, and Tian Hairong. But if victims resisted, they were isolated, imprisoned, cut off from the outside world, beaten, sexually assaulted, forced into drug use, then hung out of windows or thrown off buildings, staged to look like suicide. Today, netizens have put forward even more shocking theories about the cause of his death. Though unverified, I want to share them with you for reference. On September 24th, A friend from mainland China told commentator Li Muyang that Yu Menglong's death stemmed from two main reasons. First, he was a sacrifice in a political struggle. Second, Yu Menglong had long been under the control of Xi Jinping's faction. Reason 1, a victim of political struggles. This source claimed that anti-Xi factions knew in advance that Yu Menglong would be tortured, so they prepared professional equipment to film it. The leaked videos online were not shot by paparazzi, but by the military. The source pointed out that capturing audio so clearly from a great distance is beyond what paparazzi could do. Paparazzi usually film from the building opposite, but the military recorded from several buildings away, and the echo in the audio indicates significant distance. The blogger Xinwen Diaocha has posted numerous clips from the scene, with audio that captured Yu Menglong's voice and that of the suspects very clearly. For example, one recording allegedly features Fan Shiqi's voice near Yu Menglong's dog. So crisp it sounded as if a bugging device had been planted nearby.
If
these sounds were recorded by the perpetrators, why would they leak them, openly exposing their own crimes? Was there a traitor among the 17 suspects? And if paparazzi had recorded them, how could their equipment capture such high-quality audio inside the building from far away? To capture sound that clear, one would need professional surveillance equipment, something only Chinese police, state security, or the military would possess. This makes the military filming theory relatively credible. In CCP factional infighting, every dirty trick is used to collect blackmail material against rivals. The source also revealed that the entire Sunshine Shandong residential compound is under the control of Kai Chi or his allies. As a result, the anti-Xi faction could only film from several buildings away, unable to access the compound directly. Residents reported hearing a loud crash when Yu Menglong fell, and women on the street screamed. Video exists, but the whole area has since been sealed off. Reason 2. Controlled by Xi's faction for years. The source further claimed that Yu Menglong had been under Xi's faction's control for years, which explains why he once said, "Before 25, I lived by the rules. For the 12 years after, I was toyed with by them." This, the source suggested, was tied to his Beizi, lunar birth chart, similar to the case of Qiao Renliang. The source explained, the emperor wants to remain emperor for life, to achieve immortality. Science can't provide that, so he turns to superstition. The richer and more powerful a person is, the more superstitious they become. Otherwise, the White Dragon King wouldn't have been worshipped like a deity by tycoons and celebrities. The White Dragon King refers to Chao Bing Lam, a Thai Chinese figure who passed away but was famed for supernatural tales, admired by Hong Kong and Taiwanese stars like Tony Leung, Aaron Kwok, and Xu Qi, and hugely influential in Southeast Asia. Following Yu Menglong's case, one detail stands out. Why was a tortured victim later changed into clean clothes, with his clothes washed and hung out to dry? The colors of clothing carried symbolic meaning. The source claimed both Yu Menglong and Qiao Renliang's deaths were rehearsed in advance, and both men knew they would die. Yu Menglong repeatedly tried to cry for help in live streams, while Qiao Renliang posted photos on Weibo hinting he would die a gruesome death. Netizens have saved those photos, and they can still be found. Some netizens allege that Yu Menglong's fingernails were pulled out as part of a ritual known in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Chinese folk tradition as Zhongshengji, a mystical practice meant to bury misfortune and change destiny. They say his nails were used to create a symbolic burial garment meant to deceive the underworld deities, black and white impermanents. In this theory, Fan refers to Xi Jinping, while Fish, Yu, refers to Yu Menglong. According to a netizen post, Xi Jinping's father, Xi Zhongxun, was fated to suffer a great calamity. Normally, such a fate would fall upon the son, but they allegedly diverted it to Qiao Renliang, who shared the same birthday, explaining why Qiao was brutally tortured and died unnaturally. This cycle is said to repeat every 9 years, requiring another sacrifice to complete the arrangement. Thus, Qiao Renliang's death lit the lamp in place of Xi's father, while Yu Menglong's death offered the fire for Xi himself. Before he died, Yu wore 2 outfits, one white shirt with blue pants and one blue shirt with white pants. In folk mysticism, white symbolizes metal, blue symbolizes water. The first outfit, metal generating water, represented life, while the second, reverse order, finalized the soul-trapping formation, a complete setup to neutralize father and son misfortunes. The post added, "There are no coincidences in this world." This was arranged through folk metaphysics. Shi Zhongxun was born 10-15-1913, Chao Renliang on 10-15-1987, Yu Mengguang on 6-15-1988, Xi Jinping on 6-15-1953. While their full birth charts differ, the repeated solar calendar dates alone, they argue, were enough to claim lives, playing on collective psychology. Because Shi Zhongxun died early, Xi Jinping should have inherited the curse, but allegedly sought substitutes with matching birthdays. 14 years after his father's death, Chao Renliang became the first target. Yu Mengguang, whose chart was monitored for over a decade, became the second. Xin Qi was said to have managed Yu's career carefully, ensuring he wasn't too suppressed to lose his aura, but not so famous he became uncontrollable. This netizen said Xin Qi is distantly related to Xi Jinping, and thus Peng Liyuan, which explains why only relatives were trusted to carry out such rituals, to avoid backlash. For years, they allegedly waited until Xi turned 72, considered a dangerous age in Chinese superstition, to stage this snake-to-dragon transition. With Yu Mengguang's unique aura, they argue, no other substitute in China could be found. At first glance, this sounds unbelievable, steeped in mysticism and hard for Western readers to accept. But given the superstitions embraced by many Chinese A-list celebrities later in life, like Zhao Wei and Jet Li, or notorious tricksters such as fake Qigong master Wang Lin, who deceived the powerful with sorcery, it isn't entirely implausible. Rumors have even claimed Xi Jinping himself purged officials whose names contained the character Gong Bao, fearing a prophecy in the Tuibei II, foretelling a man with Gong would end the CCP dynasty. If so, belief in fortune-telling among top officials may not be so far-fetched after all. Mr. Ouyang, a high school classmate, told overseas reporters that Yu was sincere and once confided that the entertainment world was corrupt and dangerous, and he considered leaving it. In their last conversation, Yu revealed that his roles were decided by someone with powerful red second-generation ties at the top. Ouyang said that at the party where Yu died, no one helped him despite the crowd. Proof, he believes, that the CCP regime itself was responsible. Ouyang, who later joined the White Paper Revolution and fled abroad, had warned Yu to see through the system, but Yu dismissed it and instead told Ouyang to be careful. The case recalls other mysterious celebrity deaths. As the saying goes, once is tragedy, 4 times is a pattern. Organ harvesting and elite entertainment collusion have become systemic. Commentator Tang Hao argued the case carries major political weight, shaking the CCP's legitimacy. Rumors on X claim Xi Jinping personally intervened, with the 82nd Army Corps deploying armored vehicles in Beijing, sparking speculation of unrest. The U.S. military is said to be monitoring the risk of internal conflict. Among the 17 implicated, Xin Qi or Kai Yijia are suspected illegitimate children of Kai Qi. If Xi clings to power and Kai rises, the truth may remain buried. Yet Xi's rivals could weaponize the scandal as international scrutiny mounts. Western media like BBC and RFI are reporting heavily, and the UN Human Rights Council has renewed attention. If petitions surpass 500,000 signatures, global policy debates may follow. Most importantly, the case is awakening China's youth to question the system itself. They no longer want state propaganda or patriotic lies, echoing how Nepal's youth once rose to topple authoritarian rule. If Xi loses the power struggle, he may be forced into exile, with North Korea and Russia as rumored fallback options. This storm could spark even greater political and social upheaval, and the world is watching the next chapter of the Yu Mengguang case